Hi, my name is Nia Anderson,
I'm Kenny Snow.
and I am the summarizer for the book Things Fall Apart, chapters 8 through 13.
And I am the moderator for Things Fall Apart. Two of our members are not here, Evan and Amber.
So, I'm going to start.
You can start with summary.
So, let's just summarize chapter 8. Okonkwo feels really bad because he was involved in killing Akifuma, and he's really sad and into depression. He also congratulates Madoka on his wrestling. He argues with Obikiria about whether it was right or wrong to participate in Akifuma's death. In chapter 9, the summary is Ikwifi tells Okonkwo Nzina is dying. She has had several medical issues in the past, but now she really might die. She's closest to death than she's ever been. Chapter 10 summary. Their village holds a gathering to administer justice. One of the problems that their village is fixing is an estranged husband and a wife. The husband claims the wife's brothers beat him, but the wife's brother said they beat him because he continuously beats his wife, and he beat her so bad that she had a miscarriage one time. And also, in the end, they decide that the husband is guilty, and if he ever beats her again, he'll have to pay for it for the rest of his life. Chapter 11 summary is Ikwifi tells Nzima a story about a tourist. Also in this chapter, Chelo takes Nzima on his back and nobody can follow. However, Ikwifi follows anyway and overcomes his fears. In chapter 12, the village celebrates the engagement of Obinka's daughters, and many gifts are distributed from Okonkwo. He gives them 2 boosters, and it's just like a time where they get to know the family and everybody's just happy. Chapter 13, Nzindu dies, and he's the oldest man in the village, and Okonkwo reminisces on how Nzindu told him not to participate in the killing of Ike Mufuna, but he decides to do it anyway, so he kind of feels bad.
Okay. Those are pretty good summaries, Nia. Alright, I'm going to ask you a few questions. My first question, how did you like chapters 8 through 13?
I thought it was a lot going on at one time, and sometimes I was getting confused because like everything was running in together. But overall, it was exciting chapters and a lot went on, so that can also be a good thing.
Okay. My next question: do you remember his born son, Nawoki?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Why do you think he was so scared of Okonkwo when he found out about Ikinfuna?
I think he was very scared when he found out about Ikufuma because
A lot of times. So tell me when I get the text message when I walk over here.
Ikufuma because Ikufuma was killed by Okonkwo, and Okonkwo was very close to Ikufuma. Maybe not originally, but as the story progressed, they became closer. So he's just scared because Okonkwo really has no feelings, and he just does whatever he wants and whatever he feels at the time. And even though he regrets it, in that moment, he does whatever. So if I was Naoki, I would be scared too because he has no feelings. Afterwards, he start to get feelings, but during, there's no feelings involved.
Yes, because during the murder, he wanted to show that there was no sign of weakness. But then after that, he started feeling like, as he said, as a woman.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. So what does the opening of chapter 7 show about the relationship between Okonkwo and Ikinmefuna?
I'm sorry, may you repeat that one again?
Yes. What does the opening of chapter 7 show about the relationship between Okonkwo and Ikemefuna?
The opening of chapter 7 shows that they have a good relationship, as if I can recall. It's been so long ago, but let me go over chapter 7. But I remember them being in a great relationship. He even called him father at one time.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm going over it now, and it even says here in the text, for 3 years, Akim Mafuna lived in Okonkwo's household, and the elders of Umuofia seemed to forgot about him. He grew like a yam, and he was like an elder brother to Naomi, and from the very first seemed to have kindled a new fire with the younger boy. So I think that this means that he's like really good with the family. They have no problems. So the killing at the end of chapter 7 is just totally unexpected. Nobody would have ever thought about that.
Also, let me see, where was I going with this one? I remember now. Okay, so do you remember when he had to be kicked out of the village? This was around chapter 13, when he was forced to leave.
Who was forced to leave?
Okonkwo
Oh, okay.
and his family.
Oh, yes. I recall that. I do recall that.
Okay.
And they went to his homeland.
Yes.
Okay.
So why? Apparently, that was one of the customs or rules, because he killed another man. Do you think that
That was right?
this was a right rule?
Definitely. Okonkwo is out of control, in my opinion. And number one, I don't like him from the beginning because he's an abuser. And I'm a girl, and I don't like people. Number one, I have a problem with his 3 wives. Then not only are you going to have 3 wives, now you're going to start beating all 3 of the wives. So I'm not on good terms with him at all. So I'm glad he's leaving. However, I wish they would have banned him forever. I don't think he should come back in 7 years. But I guess kind of, since it was an accident. But it's just one accident. The rest, he's just a rude man. So I just think that he should have been gone a long time ago.
All right. Another question. What? Oh, dang, I had it in my mind, and then it just went away. I think we'll probably get it back. Hold up. Wait. So, what do you think? Okay, what? Ikefuna. He was the adopted son of Okonkwo, right?
Yes.
And Okonkwo had an actual real son, Newoi.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think he felt? I'm pretty sure he knew that he was thought of less than Ikefuna, because Okonkwo, because I can't even say his name right. Imefuna.
Ikemefuna, something like that.
Ikemefuna. He was, Okonkwo even said it, that he was the better child, even though he was not born blood of him. So how do you think Newoi felt because of that?
I think it defeated him because he wants to be just like his dad. Unlike Okonkwo, Nawoki, he wants to be just like his dad. So to see his dad just tell him straight up, Ikemefuna is better than you, I think that hurts you. Not even just in this book. I know I'm not the connector, but even in real life, if your dad was to tell you that your adopted son was better than you, you would feel bad because you're actually a part of him. And so I think he felt bad about it.
In my opinion, I think it should have made him strive to be better, to show that he was better than Fuma.
100%. I agree 100%.
So is there anything about the chapters about the reading that you didn't understand?
I doubt it. I think I got a good grasp about everything.
Okay. Well, that's good. And I think that's all.
That is all for the summarizer and the moderator.
Yeah.
The summarizer has been asked 4 questions that they answered pretty good.
Actually,
5 questions. So it's definitely the connector's turn or Amber and Evan's turn.
Yes.